Welcome to another episode of This Week in Crypto. My name is Singh, and this week's episode is for March 4th, 2018. In episode 9, we will talk about Digital Currency Group investing in Silvergate, the state of Georgia and paying taxes with crypto, Circle buys Poloniex, Venezuela teaching citizens about crypto, all this and more in this week's episode of This Week in Crypto. If this is your first TWC episode, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to click the little bell icon so you get the notifications when a new video or podcast is released on this channel. Hit the thumbs up if you like the podcast. It doesn't do anything for the channel, but it keeps us motivated to keep making content for you guys. To get our ICO reviews, technical analysis, and the 101 in responsible crypto investing, join the members section over at CryptoCoinGuru.net and start investing smartly. Smartly? You know what? Yeah, I'm going with smartly. Let's start this evening off with a little bit of info from stateside. Some really exciting news here in the United States, and more precisely in the state of Georgia. If you feel the need to pay your taxes in cryptocurrencies, you may be able to do exactly that in the next few months. A bill was introduced on February 21st that was hoping to establish the acceptance of cryptocurrencies as valid payment for taxes and licenses. So, I'm going to read a bit from the bill itself so that you actually get a feel for what it was all about. And here we go. Quote, to amend Code Section 48-2-32 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated, relating to Forms 2 of payment of taxes and license fees, so as to require the State Revenue Commissioner to 3. Accept cryptocurrencies for payment of taxes and license fees, to require conversion of 4. Cryptocurrency payments into United States dollars to provide for related matters, to repeal 5. Conflicting laws, and for other purposes. Now, what the heck does that mean? Don't worry, I'm going to go ahead and put the link down in the show notes here of the bill itself, but this definitely is excellent news for crypto, and guys, bad news for the dollar. The only reason people have to use the dollar is because it's the only currency you can pay your taxes in. Imagine everything in your life was purchased and acquired through crypto. Well, when it came to paying taxes, you would be forced to convert some of that crypto into USD. For what? To pay the government. At the moment, I understand that more people accept the dollar as payment, but that could easily change in the near future. More in banking news. The Digital Currency Group, founded by Barry Silbert, is a cryptocurrency venture capital firm. They reported this week that they were investing $114 million in the Silvergate Capital Corporation, which contains the Silvergate Bank. The New York-based firm, DCG, was created in 2015 and has its hands in a lot of the crypto world and blockchain-based startups. So, if you're wondering how deep they're invested in the cryptocurrency and blockchain market, let's just say that Digital Currency Group has its hands in companies like Ledger Wallet, BitGo, BitPay, Blockstack, Coinbase, Series B investors into Circle, and even some currencies like Zcash, Ethereum Classic, Ripple, and more. So let's say a lot, as well as some exchanges. Now these guys are just crushing it in the crypto space. They've been for years. They're getting into the banking business now, and honestly, they may have been in the banking industry the entire time for all I know. But this is one of their newest ventures in investing. The exciting thing is that this venture capital firm put in $114 million into Silvergate Bank, which is considered to be a crypto-friendly bank. Now, we all know that most of these, almost all of these bigger banks like Bank of America, JP Morgan, Chase, Capital One, Goldman Sachs, etc., are all anti-crypto. Or maybe that's what they are telling us. Well, we all know that's what's really happening behind the scenes, though. If you've heard of our podcasts in the past, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. If not, hit the subscribe button and catch up, guys. Anyways, So traditional banks are not crypto friendly. And by that, I mean, if you decide to buy crypto and the funds are coming in and out of these banks, sometimes they'll simply deny you and say, sorry, your money isn't your money. So we're going to tell you, no, you can't spend it. And they've even gone as far as shutting customers' accounts down to keep them from investing into crypto. This creates a big opportunity for a bank like Silvergate, and especially now with the backing of Digital Currency Group, which is deeply invested in advancing the blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies. And likewise, Mike Novogratz and Galaxy Investment Partners are doing the same exact thing by raising a couple of $100 million to get their own bank going that will be crypto friendly. This just goes to show us that if the major banks aren't willing to play nice with the average Joe in crypto, we will create our own solutions and leave them behind. Let's take a look at this. If crypto demand increases, these banks stand to stay relevant if they can absorb the demand by becoming crypto friendly. We have to understand that it's not about the numbers. It's not about how many people sign up for the accounts in crypto, but rather the average value per customer. The average value of somebody who would be interested in Silvergate Bank is going to be extremely high as opposed to someone who is content with their regular job, their regular 401k, their average direct deposit, and basically who doesn't mind the rat race or doesn't care to get out of the rat race. This is going to be a huge thing, and it's the type of thing that will put ultimate pressure on the banks. This along with BlackRock. Now, for those of you who don't know what that company is, BlackRock basically is a global investment management company who have some really, really big money in play. We are talking large sums of money in the pension game, and they're actually very, very enormous in the ETF index as well. Anyways, BlackRock came out and said that as cryptocurrencies become more legitimate and as the dust settles, they see cryptos potentially becoming more widely used in the future. Now, they didn't completely deny cryptocurrencies, but at the moment, the market is too immature. What interests me is that if this is what BlackRock is saying publicly, then there is no question in my mind that 6 months to a year ago, this is what the internal meetings were all about, at least at some level. Now, honestly speaking, it's a very smart strategy for them because it allows for BlackRock to get in the game when they see a very nice opening in it. So, what I really want you to think about is this. There are two worlds in the cryptoverse right now. There's our world, which consists of people who look at prices, go to CoinMarketCap, go through technical analysis, and look at price point and volume, that believe that this will become a big thing, and we're only at the front door of this revolution. Then there's the other world, the business world, or the big money world. Now, this world includes banks and companies and all of that good stuff that's not involved in blockchain right now. And at this moment, we're seeing two divergent forces at war. Now, we have the blockchain community, you and I, trying to break into the business world. And we're trying to do this with new forms of product, token economies, for different uses with things like protocols and utility tokens, et cetera, et cetera. And then we have the existing businesses. Now, the big, large, huge, or exponential, whichever one you want to use, stuff will happen when the existing businesses that are making revenue get into blockchain. That's when the tides will go from an intersection to a turning of the tide. There's no question that a lot of people will do well, because honestly speaking, you and I are smart, and we started early. We got into the game very, very early. And honestly, if you get into the game right now, you're still early. But the one thing that we have to keep in mind is that the forces that will come into the blockchain and crypto are so large and lucrative that, and honestly, this is what I think about all the time now, it's that the current system is so large that replacing it may not be an option. It may not be the way it happens. And rather, we most probably will see a hybridization of our current financial world. Now, the question to think about is, how will the financial world come into blockchain? Or how will the blockchain world merge into this business world? Another week, another interesting story, guys. Circle buys Poloniex exchange. Now, there's more to this than the title suggests. Circle did purchase Poloniex for approximately $400 million. On the surface, the Circle Poloniex deal looks like a simple change of the guard, especially since Circle is everything Poloniex is not. It's mobile, user-friendly, and well connected. Its acquisition of the rickety but well-guarded Poloniex exchange is an indicator of the new world that cryptocurrency traders are being herded into. One with more compliance and less security tokens. Now here's where the plot thickens. Circle's biggest backer, well, ready for it, guys? It's Goldman Sachs. This means that the Poloniex deal will give the Wall Street investment group a major stake in the crypto game without directly getting its hands dirty or reputation muddied. If Circle transforms Poloniex and the exchange prospers, well, that means Goldman Sachs profits. But if things go sideways, guess what? It's Circle's problem, not Goldman's. So why should we be concerned? Well, one of the reasons why Bitcoin has hailed as a disruptive technology was the way in which it redistributed wealth from the 1% to the geeks, the anarchists, the cypherpunks. Now, the pendulum has swung the other way. Not only do the old guards have skin in the game, they're now running the game. I'll be honest with you, I'm not liking this whole Bitcoin is a sham, but we're positioning ourselves to take over the game that's going on. We will have to get smarter and start reaching out to teach the newbies about not panicking so fast. And the only way to do that is by teaching and talking to them about what the technology really is. So, I say this every week. The thing you guys can do to make a huge difference is to talk about crypto. You may not know this, but you are a part of the 1% that is educated on this matter, even though it may feel otherwise. But keeping things in perspective, there are people investing in this space that have no idea why or what they're investing in. And they're doing it to chase money. So when they hear something like China's banning crypto, they freak out and panic sell. One thing you could do is tell your friends about this podcast and direct them into becoming members of Crypto Coin Guru on the website at cryptocoinguru.net. Not just for themselves, but also for us. Now, you and I know that volatility is good in a market because the only way to make money is if a market is volatile. But these panic sells are getting old, and honestly, every time we have a panic sell, it's another opportunity. For who? Not you, not me, but for the banks to buy more of our piece of the pie. So when I hear someone say, "Oh my God, it's going down, I need to sell it off," we need to stop. And we really need to think, who exactly are we selling to? Someone has to buy what we're selling. And most likely, it's the big banks or someone from the top 1% who's already controlling our lives. Do we really want to give them more power over us? You do what you think is right. But that's why I hold on to everything I have on the downfalls. And as a matter of fact, I don't just hold, or as we call it, hodl. I add more. I tend to take out my initial investments as we go up. But more on how to do all that good stuff in the technical analysis section. You'll find that in the members section. If you're already a member, awesome. You're on board. If not, get access. Get on board. Let's see what's going on in global crypto news now. Venezuela, or more so, the Venezuelan government launched a free cryptocurrency training course so that its citizens could be more educated on topics such as how to buy, sell, and even mine digital currencies. We see that Venezuela is pulling out all the stops to get the oil-backed petro that was recently issued by the state to be easily accessible and successful in its country. Now, I'm not at all opposed to this initiative because if we really think about it, how much wider use would we have of cryptocurrencies if every nation around the world, or you know what, forget that. Let's just step back and talk about North America. If just the US and Canada were to offer free courses to its citizens on cryptos, we would have a huge volume increase. We would have a lot more involvement in the market as a whole. Now, to me, that means market capitalization would increase because there would be an increase in volume, and thus the demand would increase. Looking at this purely from an investing perspective, The value of each crypto would theoretically increase. But more interestingly, it would introduce to the use of cryptocurrencies on a day-to-day basis, because more people who understand how to acquire it and how to transmit it back and forth, the more it's going to be used. It's just a thought, but maybe that's exactly what's needed mainstream for cryptocurrencies to surge. Should China and its regulations really matter to us? That's something I've wanted to talk to you guys about for a while. So should they? Well, yes and no. An article was released on Cointelegraph this week, and it was talking about this very topic, and I wanted to dive into this idea for a bit. We know that every time some news comes out of China, whether it's good or bad, the jumpy investors either go into a panic sell or a frenzy buy. This really had me asking the question, why? Especially right this moment in the history of crypto, we have so many other nations that are involved that if, let's assume for this scenario, that China decides to ban Bitcoin. Hell, China decides to ban all cryptocurrencies. Well, if that happens, there are about 190 other countries around the world that would be more than happy to buy whatever they're selling. That means the market isn't going to die out. It's not solely dependent on China. Whatever the country decides to dump, the market will dip. That's inevitable. But that's just a fire sale. I mean, literally, people will be scooping it up like it's Black Friday and there's a new gadget that everyone is dying to get their hands on. Let's use recent history as an example. It wasn't too long ago that the price of Bitcoin dropped to as low as $6,000. It's now sitting at 11,000 something. I think the last time I checked it was like 11,400. If you're a member at the Crypto Coin Guru, you know that our last technical analysis had goals that were set, and we have already passed the first goal. And we're holding consistent based on that. We're almost to the next second goal. So that alone should tell you that if you're putting a ton of faith in what's going on in China, it's not worth stressing out over at this moment. Personally, I don't pay much attention to the regulations that come out of countries, whether it's China or the US or whatever. It's simply just noise as far as I can see. That is, unless China, the US, South Korea, and maybe another country come out with some extensive or elaborate joint statement on the same day. That might get my attention. Otherwise, I'm going to just see it as an opportunity to create FUD and help me scoop up more of the crypto I'm focused on. Now, in the article, Moss went on to say that, quote, there is a demand and supply imbalance, and he expected that it will drive the price to $50,000 or even $100,000 over the next few years. That remains to be seen, because as much as I like to filter out FUD, I also try my best to filter out exuberant predictions. That could, and probably would, get my emotions involved with the price point. And when that happens, when emotions get involved with price point, well, you know, what ends up happening is you either oversell or you overbuy. Now, you know, one of my strict rules is that I follow religiously is to invest without emotions. Make moves when your feelings are not involved, guys. Now, the one thing that does concern me with cryptocurrencies is the amount of energy they tend to use in the mining and confirmation processes. It's a concern for Quebec as well, especially considering earlier this week, Hydro-Quebec, if you remember, we talked about how they were enticing miners with cheap hydropower, is now retracting that offer. They warned that there won't be cheap power available for every company that actually wants to set up shop in the province. They suggested that it may set a higher tariff for crypto miners while questioning mining companies' contribution to the province's economy. The premier, Philippe Couillard, hopefully I said that right, said he's more open to companies that would help create, quote, a real ecosystem or a real technology or technological transformation centered on blockchain, even if they use cryptocurrencies to finance their project. Now, on the other side of the Pacific, we have Australia making waves. Australian cryptocurrency exchange bitcoin.com.au has made buying Bitcoin and Ethereum for fiat a lot easier and possible in more than 1,200 newsstands across Australia. This started last Thursday, March 1st. Now, in order to buy crypto from a participating Australian newsstand, customers need to first acquire a crypto wallet, and then they basically scan their wallet's QR code with the newsstand's iPad. The exchange has set up a minimum buy of 50 Australian dollars, about 39 United States dollars worth of Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now, the transaction will be charged a 5% transaction fee by bitcoin.com.au, the exchange, but the fee was waived for the opening day on Thursday as a promo. Australia has been very progressive by taking steps to bring cryptocurrencies and blockchain into their financial and retail environments thus far. Now, this step, along with the Brisbane airport terminal that they're building, which apparently will be crypto-friendly, really makes me optimistic of the future of crypto. Well, it's that time again, guys. If you want to learn more about smart crypto investing, then become a member over at cryptocoinguru.net. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below and that tiny bell next to it so you get our weekly podcast notifications. Well, until next time, episode 9 is in the can. This is Singh signing out for Crypto Coin Guru. Adios, guys.